Hi, and welcome to Intuitive Insights with Kayla and Kassia.
So today we're going to be talking about the upcoming portal for February 2nd, 2020, and some Ascension symptoms that we've been noticing in regards to, at least for me, my own path and the collective as well. So, so I'll just get right into it. What came through or what's been coming through over the past couple days. So for this upcoming portal that is February 2nd, 2020, that's 4 2s and 3 zeros, so that's intense. And 2s are all about self-mastery, and 22 is a master number, and then 2s are all about creating balance and harmony within oneself. But specifically what's coming through for this portal is that we're being presented with tests and things that we have said that we've completed or we thought that we completed, and Spirit is bringing those things into our physical reality to be like, okay, well, are you ready to anchor in this higher timeline, this new timeline, this life that maybe that you've been envisioning, or things that you've been wanting to manifest, and things that you've been wanting to release, or that you said that you've released. Well, those things are kind of making their way back in, just to be like, okay, are you really done with this? Are you ready to complete this cycle? And then that comes into what we've been talking a lot about in regards to the completion of things, and the whole energy of completing this karmic cycle in regards to relationships, specifically relationships. That's been coming up a lot as well. So karmic partners, tests, old patterns maybe emerging. And then the uniting of the non-physical and the physical. So it's like what me and Kassia have talked about before. It's like we're always manifesting things, but now we're coming into more awareness and consciously manifesting the reality that we desire. And if we're desiring it, it means that it actually is already ours, or it is reality already in another dimension. So that's anything that you're desiring is actually already yours, or it's already present in another timeline or another dimension. And it's just a matter of whether you're anchoring that in to this earth plane, and if that's a part of your mission on this earth, if that's a part of something that you decided to do before you incarnated on this earth. So a lot of those epiphanies are coming through. That's why in our past video last week, we were like, what are you creating? We asked you, what are you creating? What do you want? And to really hone in on asking yourselves those things, because when you start to question it, it brings to awareness what really, what it is that you came here to do. And so now that those questions are beginning to be answered, as we move through this vortex of energy, it's like on the portal on Sunday, we're moving through this portal, and it's just squeezing out the rest of the outdated timelines and energies that you can't bring with you. So it's it can be kind of triggering, because those things are coming up again because you can't bring them with you. And it's are you ready? Spirit is asking you, are you ready to do this? You say you want this, you say that you want to live this life, that you want to help these people, that you want to do these things, that you want to manifest all this stuff. Well, here it is. Are you ready to take that step in doing that? So I'm just going to read some messages that I channeled about it, but it says this portal is a merging of timelines. That is why the Ascension symptoms may be intense, because we are being asked to wrap up the loose ends, complete the old timelines. Our higher selves, a higher timeline, is integrating into the physical. It is a birth of a new cycle, a timeline where synchronicities are constantly flowing with the divine, trusting that you'll be provided for in every moment. So when those fears comes up, it's telling yourself, I'm a limitless being with unlimited potential. I trust the universe. I trust that my universe supports me, because it is your universe. My world and Kassia's world, we live in our own paradigms, but right now they're merging and creating a third energy, a third paradigm, I have my own Merkaba of energy and she has her own, but right now our Merkabas are merging together, and it's like we're learning how to create our own Merkaba of energy, our own grid of light, and holding that own grid of light, and then uniting with another being, and then making that bigger and creating that bigger, and that's helping anchor in that new energy, that new paradigm of trusting and releasing. That actually goes into what I channeled, but the outdated timelines is that of fear, guilt, and shame. Go, 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 do, constantly being distracted from what the soul wants, essentially. And it's a paradigm of self-sacrificing, lack, and scarcity, but the new timeline that's integrating in is that of flow and abundance, allowance, health, joy, and miracles. So when we allow that to come through, we talked about this before with walking through those fears and seeing what's on the other side of the unknown. So the 222 is the birth of your own soul Merkaba. A grid has been created around your own energy field. Physically, the body is purging old patterns, which we'll get into the Ascension symptoms, but clearing and healing ancestral curses. So that's been coming up a lot as well. So as you're healing your whole timeline of like your ancestors, the people that came before you. Like, time is an illusion. So it's like, and you're connected through your body, through your blood, to your ancestors. And if you're purging that energy out physically, you're healing your ancestors, and then the people that come in your future as well in regards to your timeline. So so leading up to this portal, the reason why you are being pushed to complete the task is because this is the sealing of that timeline. It's you're closing up old portals, right? Yeah. It's like the sealing of that, and then moving through that portal with the solid energy, with like that solid soul Merkaba, basically. So and then I got Kali, Shiva, Archangel Michael, and Horus have been guiding us on this specific portal. And then I already went through that, the vortex of energy and squeezing out the remnants as we move through. So that's why it's really important to do physical things as well to help purge out that energy. And there's a lot of crown chakra awakenings and third eye awakenings, which can bring up like a lot of colds and like flu symptoms and that sort of thing. Maybe like sleep patterns are getting messed up, or eating patterns, and that's why it's really important to just listen to your body. So how do you got
well, that was a lot of information there. So to kind of sort of take that back and see, like, what does that look like in our lives right now, and how might you be experiencing that? So we have this closeout of cycles going on, and we've been learning so much about ourselves, who we are, learning how to step into our energy and own our own power. And now we're kind of almost being tested to see how much it is that we've actually learned. Like Kayla was saying, we have Saturn and Pluto, that is a lot of that energy of the closing out of old cycles, astrologically speaking. And Saturn and Pluto are talking with Venus and Neptune right now, which brings a lot of focus to our relationships, which makes sense, because when I feel that I am standing in my own power and I've mastered my own energy, what's the greatest test of that? It's relationships with other people. It's when my energy starts getting entangled and interwoven with another's. Can I retain my sense of self during that process? And what does that look like? And do I have strong boundaries? Do I know when to allow my boundaries to dissolve and when to stand firm in them? Do I empower or enable people? All of these different things are coming up, and we're having situations brought in. Some of them may be completely unexpected, stuff that we did not anticipate. These situations are essentially allowing us to practice what we preach, to put into practice everything that we've learned about ourselves. We have a lot of energies. It was interesting. I was talking And before we started the video, Kayla pulled some cards to get a read on the energy, and the same card popped up. It was the Devil card, was what came into my mind. And so in the tarot, the Devil card represents, any behavior that, or anything that keeps us bound, anything that holds us back, addictions, compulsions, all of these shadow aspect type energies. And so Pluto and Saturn are kind of shining a light on these energies, especially surrounding relationships and how we conduct ourselves in that way, and presenting us with situations that make us want to instinctively fall back into those old habits and those old patterns and those old coping strategies. And through that process, we're being given the opportunity to do something different and to see how much we've really grown. Because I can sit here and I can think about everything that I've learned about myself and feel really good about that. But then a situation comes up that causes me to behave in a different way, and all of a sudden, all this old stuff, all these old patterns keep creeping back in, and I'm wanting to react in certain ways, and it's bringing up certain things in me. And so that's where that energy of like, okay, so show me what you've learned. Because what we're doing is we're being prepared to step into that new timeline.
That's right.
We're closing out those cycles because we can't bring those with us. We have a whole new cycle and a whole new life and energy waiting for us. And in order to really own that and step into that, these old habits and these old patterns and these old cycles have to first close out. We can't have one foot in the old and one foot in the new. Yeah. And I think a lot of us have kind of been in that place for a while now. So with this portal, it's sort of like we're stepping fully into the new, and the energies are assisting us and helping us to do just that.
Yeah, I agree so much. Yeah. So I was what do you think about pulling some cards for the energies and see? So this is the Keepers of Light by, let's see, Kyle Gray. And
great deck.
It has like a lot of Ascended Masters in here and angels. So, okay. Green Tara, Supreme Protection. You are protected. Cords are being cut. Move beyond limitation.
Perfect.
Yeah, so that's like the affirmation, I'm a limitless being with unlimited potential. That's been coming through a lot, and it's like really assisting in the process. It's so perfect because it's right under the Malachite. Which is perfect for the heart chakra, which is coming in. But also, it's funny because we were talking about, and I know for me, I've been guided to assist, like, protect my energy, right? And to see like what I've been allowing in my energy field. And I was guided the other day to be like, talk to myself like this: I'm choosing to eat this. I'm choosing to have this conversation. I'm choosing to watch this video. Now I'm choosing to wear this shirt. Now I'm choosing to walk to the kitchen. And like, I was guided to do that for like a while, and it was so interesting to look at it like that.
You're taking ownership of your energy too. That's the first thing that came up as I was listening to you say that, which is huge energy. We're learning how to take ownership of our own energy. And part of that, a huge part of that, is acknowledging that everything is a choice. Everything we allow into our reality, everything we consume, and we consume things on multiple levels. It's not just like the food that we're putting into our bodies. Everything that we watch is something that we consume. Every person that we interact with, we're consuming. Our thoughts. So what are we feeding ourselves? And you are what you eat. So
I know.
We really want to look at that.
So there's that.
What am I feeding myself?
It's like we're being asked, and we talked about this a little bit before, but we're just really being asked to like refine our energy and protect our energy. And I mean, it's sacred. Like, you're sacred. Like, you're a divine being having a human experience. And, you have to live in your body and in your mind and with your emotions, and recognizing that you're choosing these things in your life. Like, it's just like, I'm choosing. So, Spirit, do you have anything else for the collective? Wow. Okay.
There's a lot of energy going on right now. We're getting a lot of cards. We may not take all those cards because that's a lot.
Well, I was thinking no, but there's only 4, so that's okay. We'll read them. Okay, so we got Kuthumi. Is that how you pronounce
Yep.
it? Kuthumi. So
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I'm pretending like I know. Sounds good to me.
It. Okay. Cloak of wisdom. You already know the answer you seek. Trust what you know.
Mm.
Yeah, and like again, that protection is what I'm seeing, like that enlightenment, like that golden ray of energy, just like protecting that space and honoring it, like almost like you would protect a child, like protect your energy and your soul as if you were protecting a child, or like, you know, it's like again like the reparenting of like your own self, like however you would protect an innocent child, that's how we're being asked to protect our energy. So Archangel Michael. So trusting heaven, you are safe. Angels stand close. Surrender your concerns and allow a miracle to occur. So again, you are protected. So just allow those miracles to come through and allow yourself to integrate like that new energy.
And I have to say, you know, because we have all of these three cards, and just really emphasize that protection, because it's feeling to me like we may have a lot of people watching who aren't feeling safe and aren't feeling protected right now.
Yeah.
And that's part of why this is coming through. And, you know, when we're going through this process, it can be really scary, and we're learning who we are and how to stand in our power, but in that process of learning who we are, we're forgetting who we thought we were.
Yeah.
And that's terrifying. Situations are coming up. There's just, you know, I'm watching chaos erupt around me in a lot of people's lives. And when we're in that state of that sort of like heightened state of anxiety and chaos and like not knowing what's next, and we can get caught up in that fear energy, it's hard to remember that we're safe and we're protected, because we may not really feel that way. And Spirit is here to remind you that you are absolutely safe, you know.
Yeah.
It's putting your trust in that. And taking those steps, like we were talking about, to, you know, when we say, like, protect your energy, like, what does that mean?
Right.
You
That's
know,
such a good point.
what that means is, number one, like we were talking about with consumption, you're putting yourself first. You know, we choose what we consume, but sometimes it doesn't feel like we have a choice. When it comes to people in our lives, it can be very difficult sometimes to protect our energy in the way of, you know, sometimes we're not able to be there for someone the way we want to be, because it's not healthy for our own energy
that's
right
a tough
now.
one.
As your light shines brighter, more and more people are going to be attracted to that light. And it's up to us, it's our responsibility, and that's part of mastering our energy, is to determine how we shine that light for others and how much of that light we have to share at any given time. Sometimes just the act of living your best life can inspire people enough, and that may be all you're able to do at a certain point. There may be people, these, you know, as these cycles are closing, these people in our lives that it's time to let go of, because it's all about feeling. How do I feel when I interact with this person? How do I feel when I go to this job? How do I feel when I watch this show, when I listen to this music? That's our guidepost that tells us how it's resonating with our soul and how it's affecting our energy. And if it doesn't feel good, and we're able to either lessen our interaction with those things, those places, those people, or cut them out completely, that's okay. That's what protecting our energy is.
Yeah.
It's knowing, okay,
it's okay to say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say no. I read this the other day. It was really cool. It said, say no is saying yes to yourself.
Yeah, it's true. And it's like, it's just like, as you were talking about that, that's what I was thinking. And it's like, sometimes by enabling someone else's pattern, by like people pleasing, or by like this is coming from my own experience and my own past as well. It's like, just, I like to share that in regards to, because these things are coming through from my own experience and that own wisdom. It's like, by honoring my own light, I'm honoring your light. By like saying no to your pattern, I'm saying yes to my soul, which is essentially helping you in your soul evolution. So it's like, the ego may not be like okay with it within like even ourselves or other people, but at a soul level, it's going to leave an imprint. And it's like, in that moment, somebody may not feel like, you know, that's helping them, but it will leave that imprint, and they will remember, like, wow, they put themselves first. I wish I could do that. Or like, I want to be able to really shine like that, you know? And it's like those boundaries and like protecting that light by honoring your light. When we feel like we don't want to give into something, when we feel like things aren't of equal exchange, or, you know, whatever, like, of that sense, like giving too much or receiving too much, or when things are just out of balance and we can feel it intuitively, but maybe we don't say anything about it. And it's like, it's our responsibility to be like, I'm not comfortable with that. And that's okay. And yeah, for some reason that just wanted to come through, but
and because that is a huge energy that I think a lot of people are going through right now, is just I'm trying to keep track of my thoughts here with this. Allowing people to be where they're at in their journey and not feeling bad about allowing that. Everyone is learning how to master their own energy, how to stand in their own energy. And that process looks different for different people. For some of us, it looks like putting up boundaries. For other people, it looks like, you know, being in that place where they have to marshal their own resources and find their inner strength by doing that without the assistance of other people in the ways that they're used to. So when we say no to somebody, that's helping them. It's not only a good learning process for us, but it's a learning process for them as well. And that's, if we are constantly trying to step in and
enable their patterns,
then really what we're doing is hindering their growth.
That's right.
We're hindering our growth and we're hindering theirs. And that's hurting more than it's helping.
And then that comes back to like the timelines and stuff too, because those are patterns that aren't going to be that, like, for me, like, and I know for the collective, we can't carry through into this portal that's coming up, because it's like, that's not serving us anymore. Living like that isn't serving us anymore. Being authentic, being honest about how we feel, like confronting those patterns, because it's not personal. It's not about the person. It's about confronting the energy.
And that's, I know, I think that's really difficult for a lot of people, because we live in this, you know, in this 3D human reality where, you know, everything is about attachment.
I know.
And it's not even something that we consciously do. We're human. We form attachments. And it can really, it sounds cold, but it can be, it can be helpful to try to take a step back from situations and just look at it from the evolutionary standpoint. Look at it from, like, what am I learning? How am I growing? You know, how is everybody's souls benefiting from whatever's happening right now? And what decisions can I make that are the most loving, like the healthy kind of love, not the codependent kind of love, not the self-sacrificing kind of love, but from a place of true love and respect for the journey that we're on.
Like the real true relationship is my relationship with the divine, my human relationship with my divine self, the unity of like that energy. And that's the true connection, because in that space we can create and form healthy relationships with other people. So just cultivating that relationship with source, you know.
We're getting rid of all of the toxic aspects of our relationships with others. And that's helping us grow more in our own power and get to know ourselves more. And then through that process, like, the final result of that is the ability to have those healthy relationships. But first we have to unlearn all of the unhealthy patterns. We have to close out those unhealthy cycles and step into something that's more self-loving. And for a lot of us right now, that place involves spending a lot of time alone.
And that actually brings up a good point, because this has been coming up a lot for me. I know we've talked about this, but healing the ancestral patterns, like I brought up before, and then as you were talking and then that came through, my attention was brought to these two cards that came out. So this is Call to Action, Commander Ashtar. Take charge, lead by example, and walk your talk, right? And that's like exactly what you were saying. And then this is really cool. Saint Germain comes through, and he is like of the violet flame and the Merkaba around him. So this is awesome, because it's karma releasing. Move beyond drama, create your own path, and make room for good energy. So so it's like really amazing to be able to really just release that energy and then spend time
And that's
alone.
what we're doing.
I know.
This is what we're doing
Isn't
right
that
now.
amazing, though? It's like call to action, karma releasing.
And it's beautiful, and it can feel really freeing if we allow ourselves to embrace that aspect of the energy and just know that what we're making room for is this beautiful new life that with all this Aquarian energy, we've been so motivated and we've been so inspired and we've seen this vision that we want for ourselves and for our lives. And then all of a sudden, we start going through this heavy session of karma clearing and closing out cycles, and everything seems crazy. And we're like, oh my God, like, what happened? Everything was going so well.
I know.
But, it's that taking a step back and realizing, what's happening is actually preparing me to step into all of this that I've envisioned for myself.
Yeah, it's like, I was, because, like, for me, it's like when I'll be, like, meditating and way up in this vibration and everything, and then, like, I'm in my, my 3D physical life, and then these things are coming in, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Like, what the fuck? I get so, like, frustrated, and, like, we talk about it a lot, obviously, and it's just like, okay, like, I'm meant to clear these things, like, I went, it's like the light and the dark, going the ebbs and flows of life, go up and down and up and down, and, integrating those light codes and those activations and clearing that karma and
these things that we think are blocking our path are actually being put into our path so that we can clear them, so that they're no longer blocking, because we might not see that they're blocking us, but subconsciously, energetically, they are. And so now they're just being brought forward for us to clear. And as we move through that process, we become stronger and our vibration rises more, and we're able to step into this higher frequency of energy.
Yeah.
I talked about it on my blog the other day, this whole idea of, like, basically right now, even if it doesn't feel like it, we're being handed the keys to the castle.
Yeah.
It's just, if we want to sit on the throne, we have to embody the vibration of a king or a queen. And that's what the energies are allowing us to do right now.
Yeah.
Is to step into that role, into that vibration. And we're going to be tested to make sure that we're ready.
Yeah.
And situations are going to keep coming, and eventually we're not going to even notice it as much because we instinctively react differently. Yep. It's like right now we're being really keenly made aware of what our instincts are. What are your how do you instinctively handle situations right now? And when we make a different choice, even when those old instincts come up, then we start creating new instincts.
Yeah.
And eventually, those old instincts don't come up anymore.
Yeah, and that's the reprogramming and repatterning of the brain that's healing yourself and everyone around you. It's like, it's like, this is so much bigger than just the self. This is, as you heal and as you shift with each choice that you make with your free will, you're healing everyone around you. You're healing your family, your friends, everyone you come in contact with. You're helping the earth by helping yourself.
Yeah. The holographic reality.
Yeah.
We're all connected. And, that brings up some really beautiful energy that I was talking with Kayla about before I wanted to call it the show. I guess it's kind of like a show.
Maybe it will be in the
before
future,
the video,
we'll
and it's just this idea of right now we're in this process of refining ourselves, right? Like we were talking about. We're refining ourselves, we're stepping into our full power, we're finding our voice, we're finding our true identity, and having the self-knowledge and the courage to express and speak our truth and be who we really are. And that's the first step in this ascension process, as we're all raising collectively in vibration. Before we can collectively raise in vibration, we all have to be at our highest vibration of self. We all have to be embodying our highest, truest, purest energy. And then all of that energy together unites. Once I know me, it's like we were saying, once I know me, then I can know you. I can allow you in because I'm strong in who I am. And then we allow each other in, and we create a whole that's so much bigger than the parts. I mean, we're all connected already. But we collectively raise to that higher vibration. And it's a beautiful thing. And, we're all at different stages of this process.
Yeah.
And our energy is helping everyone because there are people who may be struggling more.
Yeah.
And as collectively more of us get into that higher vibration, we're naturally going to bring others up with us.
Yeah.
You know, it's a resonance.
Exactly.
The highest energy attunes to the most powerful vibration. And so when the most powerful vibration becomes this higher frequency, the rest of the vibration that's a little bit lower is gonna raise up to match that.
Yeah, like we were talking about the law of perpetual transmutation of energy in the 12 laws of the universe, and it's like higher vibrational energy naturally transmutes and transforms lower vibrational energy, and it's just, for lack of a better terms, or higher or lower, it's just to describe
I was thinking that as I was talking. I was like, I hope people aren't taking that too much to heart.
No, because it's just energy, and it's like we all carry different energies within us. And then as you were talking about how we're all connected, it's like that comes back to, well, how am I connecting to this person? That's why we're being asked to refine, because it's like, am I connecting with them at a soul level, or am I connecting with them from an old pattern, or like, you know, it's feeding like that old timeline that maybe you don't want anymore, and it's like not in alignment with that energy. So
you know, and we talk about the ascension, we're talking about the raising collectively of the vibration. We're moving from what a lot of us refer to as the three or four dimensional, the mind-based reality to a heart-based reality.
That's right.
Which is what people, when you hear people talking about fifth dimensional consciousness, so what they're talking about is heart-based consciousness. And so we're moving into that heart-based energy. And it's, you know, anyone who's doing spiritual work, who's doing work just trying to grow, will come up, you know, the journey from the head to the heart.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's what we're on right now collectively. And it's a short space, but it can be a long journey sometimes.
Yeah, it is.
But it's an absolutely beautiful journey, and that's what we're doing, is learning how to open up that heart space, how to live from that heart space. And in order to do that, we have to feel safe. And I think that's why a lot of the safety energy is coming through. It's like, how can I open my heart if I don't feel that energy is going to be received?
Yeah.
And a lot of that,
I
think, is
maybe and not being received as well, because that comes back to knowing the self and knowing that I receive love from the divine and source, and I don't need external validation to tell me that I'm lovable.
I'm always okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who else loves me, because I love me.
Right.
You know, I love me. I know that the divine loves me, and that's all that I need, and everything else is just icing on the cake. You know, it's just another expression of the love that I have for myself and the love that I have for Spirit, that Spirit has for me. Everything becomes an expression of that kind of love. But first, we have to weed out all of these lower expressions, which are, when I say lower, it's just these more human expressions. The expressions that we've been conditioned. This is how I've been conditioned to share my heart. This is how I've been conditioned to love. And now I'm unconditioning myself, or reconditioning maybe, or just coming back to my authentic space, my authentic way of loving, you know, what I was put here to learn how to do.
Or remember.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're remembering.
Yeah, the great remembrance of who we are by just...
I like that almost better than the ascension, the great remembering.
I know.
That's really beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. You know, we're all remembering, and it's happening at a different pace for everybody. But the more we're willing to open ourselves up to that, the easier it becomes.
Yeah.
And I think when we're learning how to feel safe, and we're learning how to trust, like the best way that I found to do that was by really strengthening my connection with Spirit.
Yeah, by meditation and basically, well, for me it's been through meditation, but for everyone it could be different. But just really getting quiet with the self and being the observer. You know. Yeah. Without judging like what's coming through, but just connecting to that internal like realm, that internal dialogue, that internal world.
Yeah, because judgment is a killer of vibration.
Yeah.
You know, our vibration instantly lowers when we step into that place of judgment. Not just judgment of others, but judgment of ourselves, because most of our judgments of others are a reflection of judgments we have about ourselves. You know, and this is a time to really be able to heal that as well, and to look at ourselves as well as others from a place of compassion. you know, that's where living from that heart space, that's, you know, an experience of that energy is looking at ourselves and others with compassion. And the best way to start that process is to learn how to do that for ourselves, because that's just going to naturally radiate out to everyone else once we start learning how to do that for ourselves.
Yeah, and just having compassion, like, for ourselves in regards to this process of the great remembrance of remembering, you know, like, your divinity and your soul, and that, you know, things are gonna come up. You know, if we didn't have things come up, we wouldn't need to be here. It's like, and having compassion for yourself just as you would a child or someone else or someone that you love or care about, but giving that to yourself.
It's just the words that popped into my head as you were speaking, where I love myself without condition. You know? I know. That's the space, that's the key. That's the key right there, is learning how to do that. And just even, that's a great affirmation. I love myself without condition. You know, not judging any aspect of myself. I can look from that detached perspective and see the places where I'm being challenged to grow and embrace that process, but not judge myself because I'm not there yet, which I did for a really long time. I think a lot of us do that. Not judge myself because I'm not there yet. Not judge myself because of the ways that I acted out of resonance with how I'm trying to be now with the person that I'm becoming. Like, I had to be that person to become this person. I had to learn those lessons to gain this wisdom.
And then, like, allowing yourself to be human and have those experiences. It's like, on the ascension process, or like the spiritual awakening, or when it starts, it's like there's this like idea of like spiritual perfectionism, or like if I like feed into these like behaviors, I'm like bad, or you know, whatever. And it's like, no, like, fuck that. Like, I recently went through some times where I was like, I'm just gonna do what my human wants right now. I don't know what's going on, but and it was great because I got to learn how to not judge myself and have compassion and be like, this is just a learning experience. Like, I'm here to learn, and because I'm connected to Source, I know that these things are coming into my life for a reason. And I'm just going to let it flow and experience it. And, you know, it's really nice to have friends that, you know, you can talk to about stuff like that, because it's like things come up, and, you know, it's okay. And just to have compassion for yourself with that, and maybe allow yourself to experience certain things. And, you know, no need to, I mean, solitude is wonderful, but also we live here on this earth, and, you know.
Yeah, it's sort of, balance and being it. Learning how to be that judge for ourselves, you know, like, when do I need to step back and just be in my own energy and be in that safe space, and how do I create that safe space for myself? And when do I want to step and venture out of that and have some interactions and have some more opportunities to learn, because we learn a lot about ourselves through meditation and through, you know, spending time with ourselves, because we have nobody to distract us. It's just us. You know, but at the same time, we learn a hell of a lot from our relationships with other people and our interactions with the outside world. Everything's a teacher. Everything's a teacher. It's just, how are you being drawn to learn right now?
And then knowing, like you said.
Are you learning, or are you distracting yourself?
Although
I'm just starting to wonder, is there such thing as a distraction? Because if everything is a learning experience, then we're still being taught, even in this process of trying to distract ourselves. If we look at, how am I trying to distract myself? What are the go-tos that I have when I get into that space? Even if we aren't looking at necessarily what am I trying to distract myself from, there's clues all around us in what draws us. What are the habits that generally I use to take myself out of myself?
It's like the push-pull, like, you know, going out, coming back in, going out, coming back in, and it's like that ebb and flow, and like, again, just to bring it back to like that 2-2-2-2 portal, it's like really like looking at those things and looking at why we're doing those things, and seeing if that's something that you do want to carry with you into that timeline. And maybe some things aren't going to be 100% cleared, but it is a feeling, there is this feeling of just like, I want to complete this, and I want to move forward with this energy, and that sort of thing.
You know, and I think it's one thing that's been an interesting tool of learning for me when it comes to closing out cycles and doing this kind of stuff is, you know, there have been times where I've stepped back into old cycles.
Me too.
And then I'm noticing First of all, I'm not as engaged as I used to be.
I know.
Like, I try really hard because this is something that used to make me feel good. It used to be a great distraction. But now it's almost, like, boring to me because it's not giving me... I'm not the same person.
Not satisfied,
it's not giving me that same kind of high that it used to give me. And I'm just like, I don't even really want to do it anymore.
I know.
And they just naturally start falling away.
That's why it's good to just allow yourself to go through the process of it rather than judging it or being like, I need to stop this, and just allowing it to run its course, because it will eventually come to an end. And it's like, that happened for me too.
Yeah.
Recently with certain things. I'm like, this isn't serving me anymore. Like, I don't feel good about this. I don't want this in my life. And it's just a matter of, like, divine timing too, where it's like that, like, human will is aligned with the divine will, and it's like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful experience to be like, oh wait, I don't need this anymore.
Yeah. It's so freeing.
Because it used to feel, some of these things, I think, I can speak for myself, used to feel almost like needs.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh, I don't need that. Not only is that not entertaining me or fulfilling me anymore, but I don't even need that in my life anymore.
The need,
I'm good. Mm-hmm. And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful process. If we're resisting that process, it can be a little bit more painful. The level of resistance right now with the energies that are present, like how well we're able to navigate them is going to determine on how much resistance we have to the process, which is just, it's always, that's how it always is. Our level of resistance is what causes us pain.
Yep. Awesome. I feel like that's good. Like, we got a lot of stuff out, and do you have anything else that you want to add to it, or?
Just be loving to yourself. Be kind to yourself. But bringing it back to that compassion piece again. I don't know why that just came back up again.
Yeah.
Is just like really loving and nurturing ourselves during this process, and allowing everything to be what it is. Allowing these cycles to close, and really embracing that beautiful energy that's available to us right now. And just do what calls to your soul. Do what calls to your soul. And we really appreciate everyone tuning in.
I know.
If you liked this video, please hit the like button.
Please do.
Please subscribe so you don't miss any more videos. We will absolutely appreciate it. The more likes and subscribers we get, the more able we are to get this message to everybody who needs to hear it. Of course, we do believe in divine timing and that it will reach who it needs to reach, but that's, part of that process. It can be really helpful.
Encourage it too. And we do offer private services, and the links will be in the box below. I offer tarot readings, and Kassia offers healing sessions for
Belvaspata? Yep. Which is angelic healing of the heart.
Yep.
So really helping to open up and step into that heart energy and, allow us to shed some of that resistance, some of that shame and guilt and judgment, and take full advantage of the energies. We're clearing a lot of energy right now. If it's still hanging out in the energy field, energy healing can be a really great tool to help really
purge that out,
facilitate purging that out, in often a very gentle and harmonious way.
Yeah.
And tarot readings can be a great way to really understand the energies and to understand
help
where you're at.
Where, if that's something that is still serving you. Like, tarot readings are really helpful if there's some confusion around, like, certain situations in your life. If someone is confused about whether to let someone go or to keep that in their energy field, or what's happening at a soul level, because I read based on what's happening at a soul level. So it's like I look into whether there's certain chakra awakenings or what's happening in the mental body, the emotional body, and then how that's reflecting on the outside. And I also do Akashic Records readings, which is really helpful to see where you're at in regards to healing and clearing that energy as well. So so that's what we have, and we love you all so much, and thank you for tuning in. And
we do. We love you, and you are doing amazing.
Yeah.
So give yourself a pat on the back for all the hard work that you've been doing.
Yeah.
And hang in there. This is going to be such a beautiful energy that we're stepping into, and there's so much potential and there's so much forward momentum right now, you know, with all of the planets direct, with this Aquarius energy, this Aries moon going on. It's just like, don't get bogged down in all of the heavy stuff that's going on. Look at it all as those building blocks for this new future. And you don't be, like I said, I keep bringing it up because it keeps coming up. You know, be gentle with yourself, and hold your vision for what the future holds for you. Yeah, and remember your divinity, and that you are a divine being having a human experience. You are a divinity expressed in human form. Yeah. And what a gift and a pleasure it is. Oh, it's such an honor. Thank you.